Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to talk about do loop statement, which is one of the very useful statement, and it can save your time, and you can write your program in a very concise and easier way, and where it is needed, you can change it accordingly, and it's very easy to debug. So do loop can execute any number of time in a single iteration of a data step. So usually in data step, sometime you need to a repetitive statement to complete your program, and do loop actually make it easy. So basically do loop statements are basically three types. One is like the iterative do loop, which one is the basic program, and there are conditional do loops statements like do while and do until. So these statements will only run till these conditions will reach to whatever the conditions is provided. So these are very useful statements, and I will show you with some example that how you can perform do loop statements. So starting with the iterative do loop, I am just showing this as an example. So we have a set here, and I'm writing a data step program. So you can see I actually write in a statement of balance variables equal to 2000, and suppose I am adding thousand dollar every month for 6 months. So what will be the output at the end? So simply if you are using a data statement, you have to write whatever the balance is there. So this balance is 2000, and you have to remember that whatever the name you are using here, that will be the name of variable as well, and whatever the value will add up here, and 1000 in first month, and whatever the cumulative of this one or compound value of from the previous one, so 1000 will be added in the second month and third month and fourth month likewise. So you can see up to 6 month $1000 are added, and there was a balance of $2000. So ideally at the end of this program, the output should be 8000. So I will show you after running this program. So where you can see that this is an output and balance is 8000. So but you can see that we have to write in a data step program repetitive statements here again and again up to 6 times. So to make it easy, you can use do loop statement here. So this is an example that instead of writing 6 times, you can use do loop statement here. So for do loop, you have to balance information here. You can see that this is a very similar statement, and here I am writing do statements here, and you have to remember that do statements always start with a do keyword and end with the end statement. You can see this is ending with the end statements. So I will show you like with the easy example here. And since this statement is running 6 times, so I have to actually provide an index variable here, and I have to give the information that how many iterations should be done when this program will run. So because this statement is running 6 times, so it start from 1 to 6, and after that in each iterations whatever the balance is there, and 1000 will be added. So when you will run this program, you can see that this will give you the same value of 8000 at the end of the program. But you can notice that there is another variable is generated here, that is a I variable. So this is nothing but the index variables, and this index variable shown about the number of iterations. So what will happen that this iterations will go to up to 6 time, and when it will reach to the 7th time, it will stop because we have limited that iterations. But I variable will reach up to 7 and then stop, but it will not execute. So that's why this is 7 here, but it's actually performed only 6 times with this value. So this is very important to notice. And since you don't need this I variable, you can simply drop this variable because we don't need that variable in our output. And another thing is very important. So when you will run this program, you will see only the balance statement, and you don't see any additional variable. And another important thing, if you want to know that what is the value in each iterations, that you can easily find, using the do loop statement. And for that, you have to write your output, statements here. So when you write an output statement, it will give you the information about each iteration when this data steps will, run. So I'm running this program again, and you will see that in the first iterations balance is 3000, and the second is 4000. And you can see that after the sixth iteration, the final value is 8000. So that can be feasible here using the output statement. So this is very interesting, and it can be used in so many different ways, and when you will use the data step program. So this is another example I just wanted to share. So here again, the same way that we don't have to repeat your statements again and again, like this example where the data statement, this program, you can see these statements are repeated up to, I think, 12 times here. So here we have a value amount variables is 5, and we have a rate which is 5, and earned value is starting with 0 basically. So here I'm writing, earned value is equal to 5% for each month. Suppose we are getting 5% of your amount in each month up to 12 months. So how you can basically execute this data program so that you will get the percentage of first month and second month percentage with the compound value. So for example, in the 5% of your first month will be 50. So in the second month, you have to calculate 1050 as 5%, and likewise. So in this way, you can do the data step statements again and again, writing this statement. And one thing I just wanted to inform you that I'm writing earned is equal to earned plus whatever the value and the formula is used here. So but this is not needed actually. If you can remove this one, this variable will come, and whatever the value will generate, that will come under this variable. So like in the previous program, so this one here, I'm not writing balance is equal to balance plus 1000, so it will, this variable will automatically create it. So this is an additional step. You can remove this one, that is not needed, but for easy understanding I'm writing here. So when I will run this program, it will give you after the 12 month, for each month of the 5% interest, what will be the value after 12 months. So you can see, so the value is this month, this month of the interest in 12 months, and this is the initial amount, and this is the rate actually is 5% or 5, you can say. So the same program can be written using the do loop statement. So here the basic information is same, like amount is 1000 and rate is 5 and earned is starting from 0. And here you can see the do loop statement. I'm writing index variable from 1 to 12 because this iterations will run 12 times for this statement. So again the same statements is here, you can see that. And I'm writing output statements here, as I explained earlier, that output statements will give you the informations of each iterations, like what is the output of the each iterations. And I'm ending this do statements with the end statements that is needed, as I told you. So when I will run this program, you will see the value of the each month interest, as well as whatever the earned value. So this is the index variables that you can drop easily, and this is the earned. So initially the interest is 50, and in the second month is 102.5, and at the end of 12 month is this number that we calculated earlier with the data step program. So this is if you have like 1,000 different times you have to do that, you can easily do that here, but here you have to write a big and long program, and that can make your job more difficult. So but here in the do loop statements you can do it very easily. So that is one of the things that you can use in do loop statement. This is a third example here. So I am generating a variable x here, and the value of x at the beginning is 0, and I'm giving like the index variable from 1 to 10. So starting from the 1, this value will multiply with 4, and it will give you each iteration's value will be come out because I am using output statement here. So in the first iterations, value 1 will be used and it will multiply with the 4. So it will be output will be 4. In the second, it will be 2, and it will be output will be 8. So likewise, it will give you a series of number that will be multiplied by 4. So when I will run this program, you can see that output is actually a multiple of 4. So here you can see this is the number 1 2 3, and it's the multiple of 4, and this is the output of the x variable. So that is possible in do loop statements. So not necessarily only a specific range of number, but you can also do it to alternate number. For example, you can use by statement. So instead of 10 outputs, you can take the alternate one. So here I'm using 2. So every second where output will become, second iterations will come. So when I will run this program, you can see only 5 output will generated. So 1 3 5 7 and 9, and whatever the value that can be visible in x variable. And this is the fourth example where a value of x variable is basically power to 2 actually. So if it is 1 and this power is 2, so value will still 1. If you have a 2 and the power is 2, so it's 4. So for likewise a series of number with this mathematical formula will applied, and a series of number will be generated, and for each iterations this value will come because I'm using output statement here. So when I will run this program, you will see the 4 basically iterations will happen, and you will see the value is coming. So you can do like if you need like 12 iterations, you can do 12 here, and a series of 12 iterations values will appear, and you will see the result. So sometime when you are working in a data set and you need a set of numbers to run your program to fix your data set, so in that case this do statement will help you. So coming back to another example, so this is a data set and we have a value of balance 10,000, suppose $10,000, and I wanted to take out every month $1,000 from here and up to 10 months. So here I'm giving index variable name is payment number, so like first payment, second payment likewise, and balance is will reduce every iterations 1,000 will be deducted, and you will see for the each iterations what is the your value that will also appear. So when I will run this program, we'll see that you can easily drop this payment number as well, because it will tell you for each a month, or with each period how much the balance will remain. So I'm running this program and you will see that how the values are changing. So the balance in the first month, because you deducted $1,000, is 9,000, and in the second month, third month, fourth month, fifth month, sixth month likewise, and after 10th month, you will see the balance is zero because you deducted at $1,000 every month. So that is very useful way to calculate and to get the value using the do loop statement. So this is another example. We have an amount here and we have a rate, that this is the percentage, and this is the value you can earn easily, like what is you are earning, and this is the rate actually you are calculating. So I'm running this an example here and you will see. So at the end, with this rate you will earn, with this interest rate you will get like $77.6 here, and this is your initial amount, but this is giving you the final value. And for each month, if you wanted to know, you have to write output statements, because that will give you the value of each iteration. So you can see when I will run this program, like in the first month you will get 6.25, and likewise the next month you are getting increase in the interest rate, whatever you mentioned here. So that way you can get your values using the do loop statement. So this is another example here. So here you have a value of 2000, and you have an interest rate of 0.075, and here you are also calculating year, like it will give you for each iterations there will be value 1 will be added. So in the first it will be 1, and then second likewise. So when I will run this program, you will see that how the values are coming here. So you can see the first year you have a value of this one, because initially it's like 2000 and your interest is 150, so the total value is 2150. And after that again your interest will be calculated from whatever the combined value, and this will be the interest will be again added to the previous one, and at the end you will see the value is up to this much, and this much of the interest is actually added. So this is how you can basically use the do loop statements. This is another example, using the same as I told you. I'm not showing again and again. So this is another way, like you don't have to specifically define two from like to define a range of value. You can instead select the number as well. So I'm not using like I is equal to 1 to 6. I'm interested in only 2, 5, and 6. That you can do that, and you can get the whatever the output you are looking for. So this is the way, another way you can use the do loop statement. So moving ahead, I'm going to show you the nested do loop statement, which is another very useful things to understand. So suppose you wanted to look into two different parameters. So I have a capital value of $2000, and I am looking for 10 years, and for each month I am getting this much of the percentage interest. So what will be the output? So there are two things is going on here. One is for years and another is for month. So here you have to use two do loop statements. So this is a basically a nesting do loop statements, where you are basically putting one do loop into another do loop. So that is called the nesting do loop. So this is putting a do loop within a do loop is called nesting do loop. So you can see that I am writing here two do loop. One do loop is for year and another do loop is for basically for month. So first do loop, you can see year is equal to 1 to 10, and for this do loop there is a 1 in the statements, and another do loop here you can for month from 1 to 12, and here is the interest and whatever the capital you have, and this is the rate, and this is the combine of capital and interest, that what way you will get at the end. And when you will run this, you will get a total value of the after 20 years, and whatever the basically your for each month, where it will calculate for each month, and at the end for 10 years, I'm sorry, for 10 years what you will get it. And if you wanted to know the explicit value, like for each month how much is added, you have to use again output a statement within this block actually, where the month will is working. So when you will run this program, you will get the information like for each month how much you are getting. It's like interest in the first month you are getting like 12.5, and likewise with the compound value, that calculation is again repeating and repeating. And so for 1 month, so 1 year, it will be 12, and for 10 years it will be 120. So 120 records you can see here, and at the end of you will get the information of how much you are getting. So this is 100. You have to go to the next page to look the 121. So this much is the value of the interest after 10 years, and when you are using this value per month interest. So this is a loop within a loop example. And this is another example. If I have a value of ID, suppose 1 to 4, and there is another loop within this loop is 1 to 3. So for each value of here, whatever is I value is here 1, there is a 3 different number will come, and you have to remember that the index variable name should be different. You cannot use the same index variable name within another, yeah, this nested do loop statement. So here I use the year as the index variable name, and in the second one I use month, and here I'm using I as an index variable, and in the nested one I'm using j index variable. So that is very important to remember. So when I will run this one, this program, you will see that how the output is coming. So for, as I told you, for 1 you can see that value of 1. So j is 1, 2, 3, right? And this is the value of subject RD as I defined. Other variables, that what is defined here. So for each I there is a 3 j value, and that is what is coming in the output. So this is basically the nested do loop statement. So that is also very useful. And this is another example. I don't want to go again further here. And coming to the final do loop statements about the conditional executing of do loops statements. So as I explained you, there are two different conditional do loops statements. One is do until statement. So this is the program where the statements execute until the expression is true. So for example, I am here, giving a conditions do until capital value is greater than or equal to 50,000. So here I have a capital amount of 2,000, and I am putting a value of 10% here, and I'm also calculating year value here. So and for easy understanding, I should write the output statement. So you should know that for each iterations how much value is coming, and when this condition will reach, your program will not further work go ahead, and it will stop, and you will get the final results. So let's run this program, and you will see this is the capital. The first year you are getting 10%, so it's 2200, because 2000 was the capital value, and 200 added from the interest. And when it will reach to the 13 iteration, you will see that it's like 53,000. So I put a condition here, is when it is greater than or equal to 53,000, it will stop, and no further iterations will be added. So I can change it, like if I can add this one to 50,000, so I can add like 20,000. So let's run this program. So here I'm getting 13 years, 13 iterations, but when I change my condition, it will run up to less number of times. So you can see only the 7 iterations. So it's reaching to the 20,000 or greater than that, and then it is stopped because of this condition. So this is the way you can control your iterations and your output. And this is another example. So do while statements is another conditional statements of the do loop statements. And here you are basically providing a conditions where it can execute the program while the expression is true. So when expression is not true, it will not execute the program, and it will stop when the conditions is true. So here I'm providing and statements here do while, and I'm giving these conditions when the capital is less than or equal to 50,000. So again, instead of do until, I'm writing here do while, and this is the value that how it will be calculated and year wise, and I will get an explicit output for each iterations. When I will run this program, you can see that how the value is coming. So the same way that is coming in do until, so here the do while it is coming. So but here I have to write less than value instead of greater than. So when it will reach to this value less than, then it will give you whenever it matches, it will give you the output here. So this is the last value because it will matches the conditions here, and after that it will not execute. And this is another example. Here we have a value 0 here, and I'm getting the value is changing based on the index variable here. And when it will reach this condition like x is less than 20, then it will not execute after that. So I will run this program and I will show you that how the outputs look like. So this is the x value when it will reach 20. So this is the 5 iterations is actually is going on, although I put here 10, but it's not going to 10 iterations because I put a conditions here. So this is very important to understand that it's control the output based on the condition. And I hope you like this video. Thank you very much, and please subscribe my channel.